Hi everyone. Today we'll be making our first console game, which is gonna be Hangman. So the rules are very simple. We are given a word, and we have to guess it letter by letter. Okay. There are some variations where the first letter is given, or the last letter, or both. It doesn't matter. But we'll just do a simple variation of it. And if you want to change some of the rules, it will be a lot easier. So workshop. Making a game 1, and that's gonna be Hangman. Okay, we don't need to do a whole solution here because it's just a single application. There aren't many demos here as in the previous lectures. So okay, so let's get started with the usual stuff. Make it look better. This is gonna be Hangman game. Okay, and here I have to rename this as well. Okay, is anyone here who has never heard of Hangman, the game? Hangmangame.cs. No, it doesn't matter how you call it. As long as this is descriptive, then it's fine. They can be different. But yeah, anyone who has never played this in class or anything like that? You haven't. Okay, so let's say that your friend in class, they come up with a word which you don't know, and he just gives you the number of letters that okay, so you got it. Okay, fine, right. Okay, so let's get started. The thing that I want to do first is I would like to have a dictionary of all words in English, so that I can choose one from them at random. So let us find our folder, and I'm gonna paste this dictionary here with quite a lot of words in it. I am gonna paste it here so that I can read it a bit more easily. So okay, so what do I need to do is string dictionary, and that is gonna be file, and I don't have anything to read files in my library, so control dot should be giving me system.io. okay, and now I can use everything that I have here. So file.read all lines, and here I would like to put the name of the file, and let's check if it works, and then now I'll explain what this line of code does. So let's say dictionary of, say, 5. Okay, we have a random word that I've never heard or seen before, which is fine. Okay, so we haven't done anything with arrays yet, so some of you may be confused by this here. So let me just do that really quickly. Zoom it. Okay. Right, so if I have a variable, say int or string or a character, it doesn't matter. Let's think of it as a single box. So string corresponds to a single box, and in it we have something like hi, just any text, because string is text. Okay, an array of a given type is pretty much a collection of many similar variables. So if I have this means array, and again, amazing drawing. So array, and we will be having many boxes, as many as we want. Okay, and all of them will be a single string. So here we can have hi, here we can have hey, and so on. When we go back to our code, this basically means we have a lot of strings which are in this dictionary. We read it with this function that you haven't seen, but it's really easy to Google. So basically, this file that we have, that I've shown you, it's gonna read every single line and it's gonna put it in the array, which is what we want. So now if I want to access let's say the first word, I have to do dictionary of 0, right? Because we always start from 0. So the first word is A. Okay, it's fine. We know that one. The second one is 1. Ah, okay. Right, and so on. If you want to see how many words are there, there is a property of the arrays which is called length. So I can do that, and we can see how many words we have in our array. So 110,000 words, and we'll be choosing just one of them. So right, so let's do that. So string word is gonna be empty for now, and then I would like to choose one which is at random. So how do we do that? So up here I'm gonna put random RNG for random number generator equals new random. Okay, and what we want to do is pick a word at random and probably see if it's long enough. So we don't want words like which is just a single letter, and we would like to have something which is, say, bigger than or equal to 4 characters. What do you think? I think it's alright. We can do it 5 or 6, it doesn't matter. So what we're gonna have here is do while word dot length is less than or equal to 4. So basically here we will be choose a word, and if the length is less than or equal to 4, then we are just gonna go back again, and then we are gonna be choosing it again. So yeah, this is it pretty much. So we would like to generate the random number here. So int random word equals RNG dot, and the property that we have to use is next. So next, if you can see here, returns a non-negative random number. So this is what we want to use. Random dot next, and I have to give it a minimum value, which is 0. We start from the 0th word, and up to dictionary dot length. And let me delete that very quickly because we don't need it. Okay, so now that we have the random word number, we can just say word equals dictionary of random word number, and that's pretty much it. So let's print it here to see if everything is fine. Okay, so this is a long one. Let's just try it a couple of times. Seems like it works. What happens if I put something like 22 here? Is it gonna work? Yes, it pretty much works, so we are fine. Okay, right, so we don't need that as well. And let's think about what our game is really about. So this was standard, just read a couple of words, just pick one at random. So let's see what we are gonna have in our loop. So game loop. Okay, let's have a look. First of all, we are gonna be needing some UI. Okay, so UI means user interface, but since we're in the console, it's not going to be anything magical or anything like that. Just descriptive text for how many lives we have, word progress, and so on. So nothing special, just text that tells us what we have to do. Okay. After that, we have to read our word. So read, sorry, not word but letter. So read our letter. Okay, and right. So after that, we have to check if the user has input a letter, right? Because they can input a word, a sign, or something like that, and the program is going to break. So we have to do that, checking there. Then we have the main logic of the game, and then we have game over, conditions, and game one conditions. Okay, so it's always good to make a plan like that. Just break it into smaller pieces and see if you can write or start with any of them first. So if you see something easy, I mean, here nothing is that complicated, but sometimes you may need to have some complicated task, and you should just leave it last. Okay, now that we have this, let's do a couple of variables that we'll be using. So number of lives, and let's say that there are 6. Do you know how many of them are there? If you can count, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Depends how you count. The hanging thing, 6 or 7. So let's just leave it as 6. I think 6 is fine enough. Okay, then we are gonna be needing something which is gonna tell us those underscores, or our game progress. So current guess is new string. I'll explain you what that does in a second. So new string, and then we have word dot length. And right, so what this thing does is instead of doing it with the string, there is a problem when you do it with the string. If you want to change those underscores to a letter that you've guessed, you can't do that, because you can only read the character of a string. You can't write on it. So we are going to be having a char array, and this char is going to be just of underscores. And how many of them do we want? Well, word dot length, however many letters are there in our words. Okay, but this new string makes me a string, right? So what I want to do is to char array. This is a really nice function to have, and now it should work. Okay, what else do we need? We need to keep track of how many of the letters that we've guessed, right? So that we can show it on the screen as well. So string all guessed letters equals empty string for now, because we don't have anything in there yet. We haven't guessed anything yet. And one more thing is game over, and that is now going to be false, because we are just starting our game. It's also fine if you make a do while instead of while after that for your game loop, so that all of these can be inside the loop. But I believe this way is a lot easier to understand. So let me just put some to-dos here. And so the way I did this was with Alt click, and then just select the lines that you have to write on. Okay, and once we do any of these, then we'll just remove this, and we'll go on. So while, and we would like game over to be false. So is game over, we would like that to not be true, right? I don't know why this happens. Okay, right, so this is pretty clear. If the game is over, then we are just gonna go out of the loop, and the exclamation mark means that we want the game to actually be running. So whenever we have game over, then it's gonna just exit the loop. Alright, so now we would like to do something with the UI. So first let's clear the console. So we would like after each step to clear the console. Means that every time when we have something new in there, we would like just that to be on the screen, because if you just type and type and type and type, we will have to scroll up and down to keep track of what's going on, and we don't need that. Okay, then what else are we gonna need? So we would like to have number of lives. So number of lives, which is gonna be 6 at the beginning. What else do we want? We would like to have the guest letters. So O, or just guest letters. All guest letters. Okay. I suggest that at the top we put our progress, so the one with the underscores, and to do that we have to go through each of these elements of our current guess, which are initially just underscores. We have to go through all of them and just type them. So this is going to happen with a for loop. So current guess dot length, and for each character in this char array, we would like to print it on the console. So without the line though, because we want them to be on the same line, all of them. And I am gonna do current guess of I. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Okay, so now the loop just goes on and on. So this is why it flashes, but we are gonna fix that a little bit later. So here I would like to have a new line as well, so I'll put that here, and maybe just make them 2, and I would like to put that here as well. Let's see, this looks a little bit better, right? I think. Okay, guest letters, and then we have to also input a letter. So again, please input a letter. And okay, so this is pretty much all of the UI that we'll be doing. So this looks fine, I think. Okay, and after, this is a long word, right? Okay, and after that, the first thing that we want to do after that is just read a letter or a character from the console. So we are going to be doing that. Instead of just using a single character, which could cause us a lot of problems with the checkings and so on, I am just going to do it as a string, and then this is what we'll be using after that. We'll have conditions and so on. So this is going to be guest letter, and that is going to equal console.readLine. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So now if I put this on, it's going to just expect us to give it a letter. Okay. Right, so pretty much just to remove that, the UI is pretty much done. We have our loop as well. Read our letter, we have that also, and now we have to check if the user has input a letter. And this, I think, is going to be done best if we do two checks. First of all, I am going to check whether whether the input has length of 1. Whether it's a character or not, and after that I will check if it's from A to Z as a character. All right, so bool is wrong input, so this is very, very similar to the game over here. So is wrong input is going to be false, I believe, at the beginning. Yes. And then we will be having if, let me just use that because it's easier, if guessed letter dot length is bigger than 1, or guessed letter dot length is equal to 0. We are going to be doing something here. Let me just check if that's fine. Okay, that is fine. So the reason why I have 0 here is that if I just press enter, so let me just remove that, or I'll remove it a little bit later. So if I just press enter, the program is still going to be running, right? And I want to just give some, you know, random message that the input is wrong. So it's not just bigger than or equal bigger than 1, but I also want to have it not to be an empty string. Okay, and inside here we'll be doing something similar to the UI in a sense. So right, so first we want to clear the console to display a proper error message. Okay, and then we have wrong, I'll just put that on a new line. Wrong input, please input a single letter. Okay, and let's just check if that works. So if I put something like AS, you see it flashes, and I want it to stay a little bit longer, so I believe I've already shown that, but so what I want to do here is probably here, thread dot sleep, but I don't have the usings, so thread control dot using system dot threading, and now this is gonna work. So if you see for the file read, we had this added, and now for the thread dot sleep function we've added that as well. So thread dot sleep is gonna make the console sleep for, let's say, 1.5 seconds, so that we can see the. Okay, good. Maybe a little bit longer, but for now I'll just leave it like. Okay, so let's make it 2.5 seconds. Okay, and is the input wrong? Well, now it is. So is wrong input equals true, and you see why I do this here. It will become apparent a little bit later in the logic, but we have that the input is now wrong, so we have to change that to true. Okay, else if, and the next one that we want to check is if the thing that we've input is indeed a letter and not something else. So to do that, we are gonna have char.isLetter. So this is a standard method in the char class. So isLetter, and I would like to check whether guessed letter is indeed a character. But here I am gonna have an error because I have a string here, right? And I wanna check whether what I've input is a letter. So I'm giving it a text, and I want to check if it's a letter. So C# is not happy with that, and we have an error. So if I try to run this now, I'm gonna have the error right down there. Cannot convert from string to char. Okay, so to do that, we just put a, what you would normally do, convert dot to char guessed letter. Okay, it's interesting to see if so let's just say here not a character, just to see what happens. So if I put a exclamation mark, nothing happens. We'll see a bit later on. So yeah, the thing that I wanted to, okay, yeah, so this thing checks if the character is letter, and here we want to catch an error, so we want to check if the character is not a letter, and then we would like to display an error message. So I have to put this exclamation mark at the top. So now it should probably work. Yeah, so it blinks also. So let me just change that here as well, because we are going to use it. So thread dot sleep and do it like that. So now if I put this, not a character, which works. Okay, I wanted to see if this is going to work with typecasting. So char, I'm not sure if it will, or it could. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't work. Right, so it depends on the situation which one you will have to use. But for now, this thing seems to work fine. Okay, right. So first we want to clear the console. Pretty much same as before. Console.clear, and after that we would like to display our message. So wrong input, please input a character. I'm sorry, a letter. Yeah, that pretty much works. And then of course we have to do is wrong input equals true, because if someone does thing that is not if someone inputs a character that is not a letter, this means that our input is wrong. Okay, and so yeah, this is pretty much done. So we've checked everything that we need to check. So this we're going to be removing. So now we are up to the main logic. So main logic here. Okay, the reason for this is wrong input is that right now I want to check if the input letter is correct, and only then I would like to do my logic. Otherwise it's not going to work. So if is wrong input, and I would like that to be false. Okay, or I can easily say equals false to make it a little bit more clear. Okay, and here we have our main logic. So okay. Right, so the same way that we did this boolean here, which we are changing and using afterwards, and this one here as well, I would like to make another one. So bool is letter correct equals false, and this is pretty much gonna tell me if my guess was correct or not. Which we'll be using later on in the logic. Right, so the first thing that we have to do once we have that our letter, the user input is correct and it is indeed a letter, I have to add it to this, to our list of guessed letters, so that we can display it after that. So all guessed letters equals the old value plus the letter. How did I call that? Guessed letter plus an empty space to make it look better. Okay, once that is done, what is it that we want to do? So we have our letter, and we would like to check if it's anywhere in the word. And if it is, I would like to check this this thing that appears at the top. Sorry, this thing. Okay, so let's do that. So I would I have to go through every single character of this current guess. So let's do that with the for, and it's gonna go from 0 to current guess.length, and here I have to do a simple check, which is if word of I. So word holds the word up here that we have, if you remember this thing here, the word that we've chosen. So if word of I is the same as our guess, which was called current guess. Oh no, guessed letter. Then what I want to do is I want to change my current guess of I to be the same as the guessed letter. Okay, let's see what's wrong here. So something is wrong. So the same error as before. I am trying to I am trying to compare a char with a string. So I have to convert it here. So guess letter. Just 1 second. So yeah, word of I is a character, right? And this thing is a string. Guess letter is a string. So I have to convert that as well. Char dot, or was it convert dot to char? Convert. I don't have the T there. Now it should work. Yes. And same thing happens here. So current guess is an array of chars, and this thing is still a string. So I have to convert it here as well. Convert dot to char, and then brackets. Okay, that's pretty much it. And we would like to. So if our letter here is correct, in fact, so if I am so if this is correct, then I would like to change my is letter correct to true. Okay, so the reason that we do this here is that if we pretend that we don't have this, and I just want to say else, so that they are either equal or not, and if I say else here, and just say lives, number of lives minus or something like that. This is going to be evaluated for every single character of my word, and it can only be right a couple of times, but it's going to be wrong many times. So we'll be decreasing our lives quite a lot if we do it this way. So instead of doing that, we have this Boolean variable here. Okay. Right, so that's pretty much it. And after I've gone through every single character and checked whether it matches the original word, now I can do if is letter correct. This exclamation mark means that it is wrong. Only then we'll be decreasing our lives. So number of lives minus. Okay, right. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for the main logic. I don't see anything else that is bothering right now. Maybe we can go back and fix it. So let me just remove it in the to-do. Okay, and then we have to have some game over and some game one conditions. So let's do that here. After the if. Okay, so if so the condition is if number of lives equals 0, that means that we are dead and we don't have any more guesses. So here we would like to do pretty much the same as before. Console.clear, and I would also like to have, come on, game over. The correct word was, and then what should that be? That is word. Okay, and is game over. That is going to be now true. So if we ever go into this if, we are going to write this as well. This is game over is going to be true, and it's going to go back to this check. Okay, and this is going to end the game. We are not going to be going over and over inputting new letters as we go. And then we have the winning condition, which is done the following way. So if current guess, so our current guess, so the way we are going to be doing this is we will check if current guess has any underscores, right? Because if it doesn't, if we've changed them all, that means that we've guessed our word and we have won the game. So if current guess dot toString, I have to convert it so that I can use a method which is called contains, and here I'll be putting this underscore. I have a typo. Contains. Yes. Okay. Fine. And pretty much the same. So console.clear, console.writeLine, and then we'll be having u1. The correct word is, and this is going to be word. Okay. After that is game over. Again, I have to make it true. Okay, I guess that's pretty much it, so let's test it out. Okay, I see one thing that needs fixing, so please input a letter, has to be just a console write, so that we are on the same, line. Okay, what do you say? A. I. No M, and we see that it's just decreased our life. So let's do something like ASD, something like that. Wrong input, please input a single letter. Okay, fine, we'll do that. Sorry? S. Okay, it's not there. E. There we go. What happens if I input E again? Well, this seems to work, right? Cool. Okay, we have to do something harder, I guess. So AEINGSS. Okay, O, P, D, and M. Okay, we've guessed that M. C.
Hold on. Circumstances is R.
You're really good at this. Sorry, L? No, it's just a different word. I don't know. I don't know, N? Sorry? Oh, it's already guessed, okay. I am just gonna put a B in. Okay, that was random. Okay, now I really wanna. So here we see that there is something wrong because we didn't get the win condition, and I don't know why that doesn't work.
I think it's because you made.
Okay, we won straight away. Okay. Why do you not work, sir? This is interesting. Yes, it is in the while loop. Yeah, it's here. So this thing ends here. You see, there is a small thing there. While is game over, which is really cool. I didn't know this, but I guess they've added it soon or something. It's really cool. Okay.
Shouldn't be does not contain underscore.
Yes.
and then we want straight away. Okay. We'll be checking into that in a bit. Let me just stop this. Okay, so we'll be changing our winning condition to this. So if our current guess, which is a char array, and we have to convert it to string. So if this now string, the thing that we guess with the underscore, is equal to the word, then we are gonna go into the win section. So let's play this again. A, E, D, B. Okay, it's not B. R, L, S. Good so far. T. Not N. Cool. That's a word that you use every day, I'm sure. But now everything works. Okay, so let's go through the code again, just to see what we've done and how we can make it look better. Okay, so we have our random number generator, which is going to help us select a word here. We have the dictionary, which we read from a file, and then we have the word, which we initialize as an empty string. Okay, we select a random number between 0 and the number of words in the dictionary, and of course we have to give it to the word, the one that we'll be using. Okay, so then we have the condition that we'll be doing all of this, generating a new word until we come up with one which has 5 characters or more. Okay, then we need a couple of variables, which are number of lives. We have the current guess, which is just with underscores filled at the beginning, and we have all guessed letters, so that we can keep track of what we've guessed and whatnot. Okay, and then we have this boolean is game over, which is starting as false because the game has to be running at the beginning. So yeah, and we would like to do while the game is running. This is not is game over, which is pretty much game is running. Okay, so here we have a little bit of UI, so we have to clear the console at each step. Here with this for I am typing all of the current guesses that we have separated by a space, and this is gonna update automatically. Okay, then a couple of new lines. We have our number of lives, we have the guessed letters that we have, and of course we have to input a letter. So we input a letter as a string. Okay, here we have a helper boolean, which we're going to be using a bit later. And right, so this is condition for a single character. The second one is a condition for if it's a letter or not. Okay, now this is our main logic here. We have bool is letter correct, is false, which we'll be using. And now here it comes this boolean, because we don't want to enter this game loop unless someone has given us a proper letter, and this is why we have here setting this to wrong, setting this to wrong, and we start with it actually being a good input. Okay, so here we are doing the same thing. We would like to do something if the letter is correct, and if it's not, we would like to take some lives of our counter. Okay, so once we have that the letter is, a letter, we have to add it to all guessed letters so that we can put it right here. So if I put something like an A, an S, it comes up here. And right, so then we have to go through every single character of our word, compare it against the guessed letter, and if it is, then we change it in the current guess, which is up here. So if I guess a word I'm sorry, if I guess a character, it's gonna come up right here straight away. Okay, we have to set is letter correct to true, because we would like to do something else only if it's not. So if it's not a correct letter, we would like to take a life off of the ones that we have. Okay, so this is our game over condition, and this is our game 1 condition. So it's how many lines? It's 84 lines of code, this whole game. And to be honest, this code looks horrible, right? So if you have to go back through it again and so on, it looks pretty bad. Yes. What is going to happen if we input a capital letter? So first of all, it takes lives where it shouldn't, and I, and then maybe I. So yeah, nothing is gonna happen, and this is a very good question. So to fix this, we would like to make all our guesses a lower, and we would like to make the initial word a lower as well. So here, once we've generated the word, I would like to say word equals word 2 lower, which is going to change every capital letter to a small one. And also I want to do this for the character as well, which is this one, right? So guessed letter dot equals guessed letter 2 lower, and now it should work. So capital A, capital E, I, and so on, it works. Right, so my point was that this code is looks horrible, and there is a nice and easy way to fix it, and we'll have a separate lecture for methods and arrays, but I want to just show you how it's done in a very easy way that's gonna make this code look a little bit better. So method, or a function if you've done other languages, is pretty much getting some part of your code, wrap it around in a single block, let's say, and you give that block a name, and this way your code is going to be a lot easier to read. Okay, so let's do that. So we are just going to follow our logic and put corresponding names to what I've just been describing as our game logic. Okay. Right, so this here is pretty much we want to generate a word, right? We aren't doing anything special there. So this is a separate piece of logic, and I want to give it a name so that I don't have 5 lines here, which are hard to read anyway. So what I want to do here is press Ctrl RM, and this generates us a method. So the method is going to be called generate a word. If you can see, methods start with a capital letter, and every next word is with a capital as well. This is a convention. And if you have a variable or something like that, it starts with a smaller. So this is called camel case, this is called Pascal case. Okay, and then I press enter, and our code just vanished, right? To find it, we have to go a little bit down. So you don't care about this. We have the generate a word, and it pretty much does everything here that we would do normally. It adds a couple of lines like this thing and this thing. It adds some things here, but you should not really care about it. It does that automatically for you, which is really cool. And once we get to methods, we'll be doing this by hand, and we'll be doing it with the built-in function extract method that I'm using now, and we'll see if there are any differences or anything like that. But this thing works really well. So if I want to check it's something specific at my code, it's at the bottom here, right? I don't have to be looking through all of these lines to know where my mistake is. It's a lot easier to read. So instead of do while, now I know that I have a generate a word method. Okay, so this is some initialization logic that I cannot convert. So if I do Control RM, it's pretty much the same, right? So that's not gonna do. Okay, so we leave this here. Is it fine if I just get through all of that and you know, just put game loop? What do you think? Is it a good practice or not? Why?
It's not easier to read.
Sorry?
It's not easier to read.
Well, it's very easy to read if you ask me, because you know, it's just game loop, it's there, it's fine. Well, first of all, we haven't done anything, right? All of our code, all of the things in there, we just gave them a name, which is not good. A method should do only one thing properly, right? If you have a say a toaster, it's not gonna microwave, freeze your food, and so on. It's just gonna do one thing right, and this is, you know, to toast your slices of bread or something like that. So it's the same with methods. So a single method should do a single piece of logic and not anything else. So while this, you know, looks nice, we're not gonna be doing that. So okay, so this part of the code is for the UI, right? So here we pretty much draw the number of lives, guest letters, please input a letter. So all of this is text to help the user play, and we'll call this UI. So Control RM, game UI. Okay, and after that, this part here is pretty much input and input checking, right? So here we have the guest letter. We read it from the console, and then we have some, you know, checks here that help us along the way. So I'll be taking all of that and Control RM, and we'll put input logic or input controller. Press enter. That should work now, and bool is letter correct is false. Okay, so this is now our main logic, so I should take all of that up to here. Control RM main logic, main, or yeah, main game logic is fine. And here we have a game over condition. Here we have yeah, you should press enter. I didn't now, so game 1 condition, enter. Now all of these names that I have given are below our code, so everything is executed in the main method here, and all of these names that I just come up with, you know, game UI, input, game logic, and so on, they're now below. So you just take a part of your code, you give it a name, you put it under your main, and you can just use it. So it's kind of as a reference or a shortcut to a code that you have. And all of these words here should not worry you. We'll be talking about this in the future. But for now, what's important is that I have this thing, which is called a method. It wraps code in it so that I can use it and reuse it a little bit later. So yeah, more on methods. We'll have a separate lecture. It'll become more clear there. But let's have a look at our code and see what have we managed to do. So now our code is from 9th to pretty much 30th. So we've decreased our code to about 20 lines, and it's a lot easier to read. So here we generate a word, game UI, controller, then we have logic, game over, and game 1. So it's pretty much the same as the list that I was having here, you know, game loop, and we had UI, and we had conditions, and so on, right? So it's pretty much the same. And this really helps for your plans as well. So for UI, we should have a single method that handles UI. and for conditions it's the same. Right, so now if we have an error somewhere, if I just change something in the method, maybe something like this, it's gonna tell us at which line of code is the error, which is in the method. So it doesn't have to be in the main for us to know where the error is. And this makes your code a lot better, I think. So let me just delete that. Let's play it once. Right, so what do you want to have? A, E, I. That's how I start as well. O? Do we really need to have another one? No. P? I would say D because at the end ED or ES. Okay, you were right. So sorry? C. D. B. R. That is okay. We got beaten. All right. Okay, that's pretty much it, I think. So that'll be all.